There's PFAS in our period underwear, there's lead in our tampons. Are any of our period products safe? And not only safe for us, but also safe for the planet? Let's find out in today's video. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste. So yes, if you have not heard, it was probably about a year ago, maybe more, that FAVES was under scrutiny for having PFAS, forever chemicals, in their underwear. Here's what PFAS stands for. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And then just recently it was found that lead is in our tampons, and not only tampons. We will find out in this study, I went through it, lead is basically in all of our period products. Love that for us. So is there a way that you can have a period safely when it comes to putting harmful chemicals in your body? And is there a swap that reigns supreme also when it comes to waste reduction and fewest amount of chemicals that we're putting in our bodies? We'll get to that at the end. But for now, let's first dive into period underwear if you have not heard about this yet. I will start this off by saying that period underwear is my personal favorite zero waste period swap, and not all period underwear contain PFAS. But what are they? PFAS are a group of synthetic chemicals that are resistant to grease, water, heat, and oil. They're everywhere from household items to clothing to period products. According to the Environmental Working Group, it is likely that these PFAS were added intentionally to make the products more waterproof, or liquid-proof. So as I said, I watched the entire presentation about PFAS and lead in our period products, and you can check it all out in the blog post linked below. But in short, out of all of the period products that they tested for PFAS, period underwear did come back the highest. Did they test every single brand on the market? I'm not sure. They didn't actually disclose in that video which brands that they tested. But a silver lining, I'm not going to say quite good news, but a silver lining is that the PFAS is actually found in the exterior layer of underwear to keep the liquid out and from leaking. So it's not actually going to be touching your body, instead it's going to be touching your clothes. Is that PFAS transferring when you wash your period underwear? Maybe. It really wasn't for sure. From the study just tested brand new period underwear and not like our other clothing. So a silver lining, but still not the best news. Now, what do PFAS actually do to your body? There are many effects from PFAS to include immune disruption and endocrine disruption, plus disposable products that contain PFAS, like pads and tampons, also have negative effects on the environment when they end up in the landfill. Once again, good news, not all period underwear contain PFAS. Yay, because I love period underwear and I want to keep using them. So here's a list that I found from Good Trade. This is just 9 brands, but there are many, many more PFAS-free brands out there. But these are some brands that I have loved, tested myself, and still use to this day. We've got The Period Company, Tomboy X, Salt, Modi Body, Wuka, Ruby Love, Dear Kate, Revel Cares, and Period Isle, and I have tested 8 out of those 9 brands, which you can check out above and below. As you can see, there are plenty of options if you want to stick to period underwear or try period underwear but remain PFAS free, and of course reduce your waste. But let's move on to tampons. Clearly tampons are not known for their waste reduction, but if you do use applicator free tampons, they're relatively low waste. Plus they're very, very popular, but unfortunately this means that a lot of us have been exposed to heavy metals. In fact, some brands contain 24 times the limit of lead in bottled water. 24 times. One tampon. Oh, there's a squirrel. And you're putting that into your body. Something that I didn't mention with PFAS, but that also happens with PFAS and lead, is when these disposable products end up in the landfill, now lead, PFAS, and other heavy metals are leaking into our groundwater and soil as well. Obviously, it's detrimental for our health immediately, but it's also detrimental to our health down the line because we're polluting our groundwater and our soil. Unfortunately, several organic tampon brands were also tested, and they also tested high for lead and other heavy metals. I don't think they were as high for lead, but they were like higher for other heavy metals, so just because it's organic doesn't necessarily mean it's better. I mean, it's better in some ways, but you're not necessarily going to be as far removed from these heavy metals as you thought you were. Now, what if you enjoy tampons the most and that's what you prefer, you don't want to switch? Or maybe you're like me and some cases of things like backpacking or going to work require tampons because it's just the easiest. Here are some brands that I suggest that are safer for our bodies and the planet. Again, it's not a perfect waste-free option, but it is lower waste. Now, your best bet is to just opt for organic, package-free, plastic-free, and applicator-free as much as possible. Is that going to be the perfect solution? No, but it is better in most areas. Truly the best thing that you can do when shopping for disposable period products, honestly for anything made out of cotton, is to look for the GOTS Certified Organic label. If you want to learn more about GOTS Certified Organic, as well as other sort of certifications, you can check out this video. But here's the short version. So GOTS is the Global Organic Textile Standard. It is the worldwide leading textile processing standard for organic fibers. The certification provides credible assurance of responsible manufacturing with the least chemical inputs. Ultimately, it ensures quality of organic fabric for end consumers. Now notice that it does say the least chemical inputs. It doesn't necessarily mean 0, but it is better. Anyway, here are some GOTS certified organic tampons you can try out if tampons are your favorite low waste period option. We've got Deodoc and Sisters by Moon Cup, Dame, I love Dame, and you can learn more about Dame in this video, Totem, Flow, Cora, Grayson Green, and another one of my favorites is NatraCare. I've not actually done a full NatraCare review, but I have worked with them several times, and I love them so much. They are women-owned, so many good things to say about them. There's also some bonus points here if you want to opt for applicator-free cardboard applicators, and if you need an applicator but you want to reduce your waste, you can check out Dame's reusable tampon applicator. It's so cool. You load an applicator-free tampon in there, you use the reusable applicator, wash it, reuse it over and over again to reduce so much waste. Now, what about disposable pads? Now, this is probably your most wasteful option. Definitely not zero waste by any means, but if this is your go-to option, shopping organic is better for the planet, but is it better for your body? According to Time magazine, about 48% of pads tested for PFAS came back positive. That's a lot. And I'm going to assume here that it's like period underwear and that the PFAS is added for water resistancy, but they didn't actually share that. And that's not all that's hiding in pads. According to Women's Voices, the very popular brand Always tested for the following: styrene, which is a carcinogen; chloromethane, which is a reproductive toxin; chloroethane, which is a carcinogen; chloroform, I didn't even read that, like fully comprehend that when I was writing this blog post, which is a carcinogen, a reproductive toxin, and a neurotoxin; and acetone, which is an irritant. Terrible stuff that they're doing in there. Not to mention, many of these brands are also bleaching the cotton, which isn't great. Many of them are also including plastic, which we'll find out in next week's video talking about hidden plastic, as well as other artificial things like fragrances. Now, if you need to stick to pads for whatever reason, it's a necessity for you, here are some brands that you can try instead. They're essentially the exact same as the tampon brands. They also make pads and panty liners. A zero waste swap I don't see talked about that often is reusable pads, so let's dive into that next. Because it's not a very popular zero waste period option, let alone a period option in general, there's not really been a lot of information on them. I don't think they really tested these for lead, PFAS, and other heavy metals, but I think it's probably safe to assume at this point that many brands do not care about us or the planet, and these chemicals, these harsh toxins, are probably in there as well. But good news, many of these brands that make PFAS-free period underwear also make PFAS-free reusable pads. And those options are Wuka, Glad Rags, and Period Isle. They're also very easy to make yourself from upcycled flannel cotton. I've seen my friend Tiny Ways do this. I will leave her TikTok linked down below and in the blog post. You can check her out for a tutorial. Now, the zero waste swap you have been waiting for. It's probably the most eco-friendly, but is it the best for your body? That is menstrual cups and menstrual discs. What these are is it is a silicone cup or disc. Here's the difference right here. You insert it, you remove it, you dump it, you reuse it, you wash it and reuse it for like up to 10 years. They're so environmentally friendly and so economical. But are they the best option? The Environmental Working Group would say yes. The EWG says that menstrual cups and discs pose the least risk, though of course that risk is not zero. This could be because that is not a very common period care item, and perhaps a lot of them were just not tested. But the same study that conducted on the period underwear that I referenced before also tested some menstrual cups and they came back low. I wish it was zero, but at this point we have to take our wins when we get them, and low is better than high. The bar's low. And other than that, I couldn't really find that much information about heavy metals and stuff like menstrual discs and menstrual cups. But good news is Salt is a brand that has been proven to be PFAS free, as we heard earlier. They also make menstrual cups and menstrual discs. I've been using their cup for about 3 years, but prefer the disc shape for my body. They both work so well. I love that their size, they have different size options. They are comfortable, they are easy to use, easy to wash. And yeah, I just love Salt as a whole. At the end of the day, here's my suggestions for you if you have a period and you're looking to avoid harsh chemicals and also avoid waste. Opt for organic. It's not great, but it is better. Opt for plastic-free and applicator-free as much as possible because the plastics that go around our period products are actually leaching into the period products itself. You can check out some of the brands that I have listed, all of which are in the blog post where you can shop for them. And you can also take action. Go to your favorite brands. If your favorite brand of period underwear is Thinx, for example, write to them. Demand that they no longer have PFAS in their items. If your favorite brand of tampons is Always or Kotex, email them and demand that they no longer put harsh chemicals in our tampons. I can't believe we have to ask brands to not poison us, but we do. And honestly, the more of us that write to these companies and demand better action for the planet and for our bodies, the better. As well as conclude that email saying that you're going to boycott them. You are no longer going to support them, even though they're your favorite brand, if they do not fix what they're doing. Because if they won't do it out of the goodness of their heart and for the goodness of their customers, they will do it for money. I have no doubt about that. I hope that this helps amongst all this controversy about period products and hopefully gives you some better feelings about having a period and how you can do it waste-free and also better for your own body. I have a full zero waste period playlist that you can check out up here, but here are some videos that are included in that video. I've got a period underwear try-on video to see how well the sizes fit. I've got the year recap using period underwear for a whole year, how to wash and care for your period underwear, how to wash and sanitize your menstrual disc, answering all of your questions about period underwear, what are reusable tampon applicators, what are menstrual discs, what are menstrual cups. You can find all that information in that playlist. Let us know down below which option you're going to be choosing. Which, the lesser of all the evils, are you going to be choosing? Again, I wish there was a perfect option, but there's not. I think if there were to be a perfect option, it probably would be a menstrual cup or a menstrual disc. That seemed like the lowest likelihood of having anything toxic in them, and of course, the most eco-friendly and the most budget-friendly as well. It outcompetes even disposables, the cheapest disposables. You'll still save money with a menstrual disc or a menstrual cup. Once again, thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I will see you in the next video though, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye guys. I've had that piercing for like 2 months and I just absolutely yanked on it. Good enough. And something that I didn't mention with PFAS, but something that I didn't mention